We have Kevin O'Leary Ventures Chairman. Kevin, great to see you as always. So talk to me about this, particularly with RFK Jr. You are a businessman. You're an entrepreneur.
Check this out as Kevin drops bombshells on RFK and Elon Musk.
How do you think about investing in this space if you have someone like RFK Jr. who comes in and upends the snack space, upends the big pharma space? What does this mean for people like you?
Well, I always try and figure out who is this person, because I think he is going to get through this process. He's going to be the manager of this space. And I think people are saying, oh, he's controversial. Yeah, he is. And I think that's what the space needs. I met him in your green room, just a few yards away from you.
Shameless plug.
When he was running for president. I had no idea what a highly educated guy this is. I mean, he was really interesting. And my take on him is very rational person. He doesn't believe in vaccines. And I have people in my office that are the same way. They didn't take vaccines. I took everyone I could get. We're both still alive. So that's a controversy there. But the thing that I really liked about him, people should think about going through this confirmation process, this guy actually cares about what kids eat. And I'm into that now. I'm into longevity. We eat a lot of crappy food. We eat too much sugar, too much salt. This is very pragmatic stuff. So if you're appealing to a mother and telling her, look, I'm not going to ban potato chips. I'm not going to ban sugary sodas, but I want to educate people as to why they shouldn't eat them. And I think that's a great mandate. I'm all for it. Get him in there. Shake it up. I love this idea.
He's absolutely right. There's a real opportunity to disrupt industries that have been operating without regard for long-term health or sustainability. But the question remains, can a figure like this, with such strong convictions, truly break the grip these industries have on consumers?
Certainly appealed to mothers like me, and Jackie for sure is on the same page as I am too.
Oh, 1,000%. I think that, there was a lot of likability there with women voting for Trump because of some of these potential picks. And it was kind of floated that RFK would be one of them. But Kevin, while we have you, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, they are shaking things up in this new Department of Government Efficiency. Gary Cohn was on the Claiming Countdown yesterday, and I thought he brought up a fantastic point. It's been something I've been thinking about. Will they be incorporating AI into this efficiency and not just firing people, but getting machines to do more? Listen to this.
Here's where you're going to get the money. You're going to get the money by making these organizations more efficient. You're going to invest in technology. I don't think the federal government is invested in a lot of technology. I don't think there's a lot of AI in the government. I don't think there's a lot of high-end computing in the government. We're going to use modern technology to make the government more efficient and cut down on the administrative cost. The administrative cost is huge in the U.S. government.
AI is the future of efficiency, and it could transform government in ways we haven't yet fully imagined. The real challenge will be not just adopting technology, but aligning it with a culture of transparency and accountability that delivers real value to the public.
What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I saw that interview. Most people's criticism of this appointment is saying it's just consultants and they're just pointing fingers at waste. No, it isn't. It's different this time. Let me explain why. Elon has his own network, 1 billion people watching him every day. He's the largest contributor to his own network, X, formerly Twitter, as we all know. So here's how this is going to work. Let's say they identify a cost-plus contract. These are egregious contracts. Maybe in Massachusetts, you're building a bridge to nowhere, you're spending $2 billion. He'll focus on that. He'll show you why it's a waste. And then he'll start to shame out Elizabeth Warren or somebody else to millions of people online, squeezing her head in front of her own voters. I love this idea. Now, it's going to be very contentious. That's the power he has. He doesn't need to have legislative power. He can squeeze from the bottom up. Your senator, your governor, your manager is wasting your money. Here's how. I'm going to remind you about it every day until you make her change. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, the power of a megaphone, Kevin, I think is very real here. I got to ask you about this. So you're our energy guy. I was definitely team Doug Burgum for energy secretary. I thought that would have been great for that space. He didn't get it. He got interior secretary. But as I thought more about that, there's a lot of relationship between interior and the permitting that has to happen to use our natural resources. What do you make of that?
Using a platform as influential as Elon's to expose government waste takes the fight for efficiency to an entirely new level. It's not just about pointing out problems. It's about actively creating pressure that holds politicians accountable to the people. This approach could fundamentally change how public policy is scrutinized.
Yeah, look, I'm kind of with you. I was a supporter of Bergen because I worked for him in North Dakota. I managed a lot of entrepreneurial money there. I think it's a great state. But if it's not energy, interior is good because I want to open up the Anwar. I want to use that to reduce debt. That's part of the mandate there. And he wants to use energy to solve problems in America, to reduce inflation and also bring more cash against deficit. I like it. It's sort of, to me, better than nothing. He's got a full mandate and he's got some power here. He is a fantastic entrepreneur. Remember what he did. He was part of the Microsoft team. He's a tech guy, loves energy, but he also understands the environmental issues. This guy is pure gold for the administration. I think Trump knows that.
We love to get your thoughts on sort of the investing landscape as well. You've talked a lot about how President-elect Trump has sort of saved entrepreneurship, right? Bringing back investors and people who believe in innovating in this country. What do you mean by that?
What I mean is remove the roadblocks is the key. Now, what happened here was the big decision. Are we going to go in the different direction? We decided to go towards more of the typical strategy of lower taxes, more innovation, less regulation. The market is really liking that. But for small entrepreneurs, what you need to do is remove regulation because they can't afford lawyers. They can't afford publicists. They can't afford lobbyists. And I think that's what Trump's going to do on a federal level. And with this interior thing with Bergen we just mentioned, maybe he'll open up some land for housing. That would be good too. There's a lot of opportunity here and the market senses it. Plus he's pro-crypto, pro-digital. I'm loving it. I'm a policy guy. I love the policies ahead and I'm investing according to it. I think the whole world is doing the same thing. Now, there's a lot on his head right now. Trump's going to really have to deliver here. But I think that's why he's shaking it up with some of these more controversial proposals.
Removing regulatory roadblocks for small entrepreneurs could be a game changer, especially for those who don't have the resources to navigate bureaucracy. But the real question is, will these changes be enough to create a truly level playing field for all businesses, or will it just benefit the larger players with more influence?
Real quick on crypto, Kevin. Obviously, we saw a huge run up. Now we're seeing some, a little bit of a bounce down. It seems normal to me staying in that range. I think people are still pretty bullish on it. But how are you? How do you look at it?
I am bullish. And the reason I'm bullish is the more it gets brought into the traditional regulatory environment and the rumor on the street, and I've mentioned this before, is the CFTC, a commodities regulator, is going to get more power on crypto. So we know the direction now that the SEC is going to change. Maybe Gensler's not around in the future and it's more CFTC. That means if I'm an institutional investor and I want to buy a 3% weighting in Bitcoin in my portfolio, I have to do that. And I'm agnostic to the price. I'm going to hold it for 10, 12 years. And there's going to be a lot of demand. And that's why this particular digital asset is moving ahead so quickly. Going to be volatile, but I see it over 100,000 maybe by the end of the year. I'm in that camp and I own it and I'm long it. And I think it's great.
We'll have to see if Anthony Pompliano, who we have coming up on in a few blocks, agrees with that statement as well. I have a feeling he might. Kevin O'Leary, thank you for joining us.